Hey, welcome into the channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me always. My name is Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to look at the energy for you for today. So let's get into it. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab a beverage, kick back and relax. We'll start off with an energy cleansing just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. These are timeless messages always. So keep that in mind, use your discernment, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. I also do personal readings. So if you want me to look at your specific situation, I do energy healings as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations, little mind, body, soul action. So hit me up if you're interested in connecting. I would definitely love and be honored to support you in any way possible. All that info is in the description box below. So when I'm recording these in real time, however, the energy is a little messy right now. Excuse me. It's been a little hectic on my end for sure. I took a couple days off to focus on me and my son. We had some stuff come up, and you know, there's a lot working itself out. Since we last talked, I should say, Uranus went into retrograde. So now we have Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all in retrograde, which are all the outer planets. Outer planets deal with our spiritual evolution and transformation. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius officially in October, that has been a heavy theme. Like, we have to look at the deeper layers of why things aren't working out, why we keep hitting these proverbial brick walls, why things are not, moving in the direction that we had hoped or wanted. And there is a lot of resistance around this. It's not that we don't have passion, drive, excitement for the future or for what is to come, but it feels like we keep hitting these roadblocks, right? It feels like no matter how hard we work, no matter how hard we push forward, there's always something that comes in front of it. And when we find ourselves in those situations, that's where those deeper lessons are very important. So we'll look at those today. We'll start, as always, with an energy cleansing, set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. Do a little blessing for our heart, our mind, our soul, and then just cleanse out any unwanted energy. And this is also a really good time to set your own intention as well. Your intention for the reading, if you would like Spirit to deliver specific messages or answer specific questions, definitely give those over now and be open to receive. Okay. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, overwhelm, impatience. Help us to see and understand the messages, the knowledge, the information clearly, and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, so as I was talking about, there is just a lot of tension. I think I did a weekly reading, so you can check back into that. I'm pretty sure I talked about that midweek. And that's where we're at right now when I'm recording midweek-ish. It's Thursday on my end. We had a new moon in Virgo. And Virgo is really the season of rebalancing. It puts a lot of focus on our health, our well-being, mind, body, soul, right? It's not just about physical. Yes, it's a great time to cleanse if you're into that. Cleansing out the accumulation from the previous season. Ayurveda is a huge component of that. But it's also for, like I said, like our mind, our emotions, the heaviness that we've been carrying around. Ironically or not, right now, Mars is contra-parallel to Pluto, tensely aspected. So it's basically talking about how, like, as I was saying before, as we try to move forward, as we try to take action steps, we keep like, you know, it's that, whatever, that reaction where we keep like bouncing back. Spirit's asking us obviously to reflect, right? We have to look through each piece of the puzzle to understand, to better understand. Instead of looking at it very topically, it's taking a moment, taking a breath, taking a few minutes to understand what's really going on. Not just like some surface value of what we think. Oftentimes when we approach things that way, it's coming from our ego, right? And not good, bad, right, or wrong, but it's in this vein where our response can be short-sighted. And what we're building here right now, especially with Pluto moving into Aquarius, is that longevity. We're setting the stage for something that is more hopeful, that is more heart honoring and a part of our wish fulfillment. And in order to do that, we do have to reflect on what is not working and why we keep finding ourselves in these positions, and learn, yes, and then be patient through the process. It's all working itself out, is what I'm hearing. Like, it's not just, a punishment or a shame on you for not doing it right or something. It's not that. There's so much happening, and we see that. Even just pull up a current planet chart in the Astrology, like pull up a chart today. It's like there's just a lot going on, transits all across the board, and most of them are a little more tense and a little more heavy. We're dealing, but the value is we have a lot of air element in the energy right now, which is associated with our mind and our intellect, giving us that extra leg up to really think our way through the problems. And there's also prominent earth element, which helps ground and support our decisions so that we are making decisions that are more practical, more heart honoring for what our long-term goals are, versus something that's, a quick fix or is actually not really what we want, gonna bring us more detriment in the future. Today, your energy is a little bit slower. It is a little more reflective and contemplative. It's not about taking action today. It's not about making choices. Thursday is the day of Jupiter, which I love because that is associated with our abundance. So really immerse yourself in the things that make you feel happy, that make you feel good. Some of the regret is really clouding your judgment or clouding some of that, shoulda, woulda, coulda. For sure, I'm a huge proponent of grieving and feeling those feels. I think it's really important to keep the prana or life force moving within our body. Disease, Ayurveda looks at disease as, it starts with our mind and our emotions and how they build up. So when we live in these places of regret, it can definitely be a block, right? It can definitely be something that ends up limiting us from growing and healing beyond. And it's not easy right now. I'm not trying to put some rose-colored glasses, oh, you just do this and it's all fine. It doesn't work out that way, unfortunately. It is a long and a slow process. But I also feel like it is something, the reason it's taking so long is because it is connecting us, right, with who we are. This is our overarching energy today. So remembering who you are. This can be as simple as like connecting with our authentic self, our desires, our wishes, our hopes for our life, or just part of ourselves that we left behind, that we cut off a couple years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you know, whatever resonates for you. This is, and in the collective, in the astrology, this is what this time is all about. Pluto being in Pluto being in Capricorn forced us to do a lot of hard work. It was doing the work for the sake of the work. And now we're moving into a time where we can actually enjoy the fruits of our labor. And in order to do so, it's important to not lose sight of who we are and of what we want. Venus is in opposition to the North Node today, so she is a little resistant. Venus wants to keep everything nice and fuzzy, maybe a little like turn the blinders on, blind eye, not pay attention to some of the hardship. And we need a little bit of that for ourselves, giving ourselves a little bit of blissful ignorance today. I think that's important because, again, trying not to get too stuck in how something should have gone. It is what it is at this point. There's also that understanding that it was meant to happen this way. It was meant to go this way. Maybe it doesn't make it easier. But at the same time, it gives a little bit more peace and calm and understanding that sometimes we just have to go through learning lessons in life. Sometimes we just have to go through situations that challenge us, that help us to grow and evolve. Someone or something is, I do feel like they are thinking about you. There is a lot of past energy here. And also as you're sorting through your own stuff with the past is also thinking about you. I'm seeing two people, well, three now, lots of people. I feel like your energy is definitely this Queen of Swords. You're coming in with a diplomatic perspective, looking through that lens of pros and cons. I feel like you are trying to uncover some of these parts of yourself and also furthermore, like immerse yourself in those things. But again, there still is some focus on the regret that keeps pulling you back. And I feel like you have been dealing with someone who has been a little bit more difficult, has been not fair is what I'm hearing. Very unfair and very maybe kind of ruthless for some of you. That might not resonate for everybody, but this is just someone who doesn't really want to validate or give you any sort of credit or even hear like what you have to say. They have been thinking through things. This could be attached to family, to home, to people that you've established or feel like family and home. It can be community, close friends as well. I do feel like they are very disappointed with how things have gone. You don't seem to be paying attention to this person or this situation. Yeah, because it's really important for you to maintain your autonomy. I love the Seven of Wands in this deck because it is that value of just, it's like that spiritual protective bubble, right? When you really just want to protect your energy, protect your vibes, keep it on the up and up. And people like this who have brought it down, it's very important for you to keep at arm's length, or has been. You've been very much practicing respecting and honoring yourself and putting up those appropriate boundaries, especially for people who do try to infiltrate, people who don't respect you, right? Who keep kind of pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until they can see you explode or see what they can get. That's total fire energy. The Emperor is associated with Aries, and unfortunately, the fire family has not been faring very well in our readings lately. There's just a lot of aggression There's a lot of anger and frustration around these situations. I do feel like this person is reflecting, but it's not in a way of looking at themselves. It's looking at it through the lens of what's the next best move. Well, I'm gonna try to strategically do this instead of just like be an adult, have a conversation, be honest about how they think or feel. Everything is a strategy. Everything is a chess piece, so to speak, right? And it has just stagnated things. Knight of Pentacles is moving super, super slow. I feel like they're also getting other people involved. They're getting other people involved on this bandwagon, right? Trying to see how they can meddle, how they can infiltrate. Yes, in a way to push things forward, meaning getting some interaction or reaction out of you, but you are not paying attention. Like, I think that's the silver lining. Bottom line, you are not paying attention. I feel like this person has taken their sweet time to make changes and adjustments, and they just never seem to happen. And so you have since moved on. We also have this Knight of Cups popping up. This is someone new who is very interested in you, and I feel like they feel really connected to you. They feel really drawn to you. I love the Knight of Cups energy because he is our quintessential lover. We got that that beautiful white horse in the background. There you go. Knight in shining armor. No, but it does, and it doesn't have to be love. It can be love if you're looking for love, but if you're happily matched, happily single, this is just someone who I feel is kind of like coming in to heal this dynamic that you're coming from, that you've experienced in the past. This is someone who has really good intentions. Let's look at them for a minute. They have really good intentions. They have a lot going on. Ten of Swords just fell out at the bottom of the deck. I feel like they are experiencing very similar energies as you. You guys are kind of mirroring in your lives right now. So it is taking them a little longer than what they had hoped or anticipated. Yeah, Four of Wands comes up for them. So home, family, we're seeing double confirmation on that. This is someone who's felt like they really had to self-protect in their own experience. I feel like they've kind of had someone coming after them, so to speak, and it's put them in a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety. And so where they maybe would have reached out sooner, they've kind of pumped the brakes because they are stressing a little bit. But the more they see you, the more they watch you, the more they kind of, and not in like a stalker kind of way. I don't get that vibes. Yes, maybe checking up on your social media or, maybe you guys see each other because it does feel like someone you know. It feels like either someone you have already had previous interaction with or maybe even someone that, old soul vibes, old past life vibes is what I wanted to say. You're very independent, so I think it's a little intimidating for them. Or maybe you come across that way. Maybe you come across as someone who has their stuff together, is kind of in their own momentum. And again, you're paying attention to your own stuff. You're not really watching or paying attention to much of what's going on around you, dealing with navigating through this regret, some of the heavier things that are demanding your focus right now. But I feel like there is a way to move beyond it. There is a way to deal with some of this Ten of Pentacles energy stuff with family, people that you just have to tie up loose ends with, and still move forward. Bridging the gap is what I'm hearing for today. I think that's a really good overarching theme, is bridging the gap. And I feel like some of this does really come through remembering who you are. It would be a great day to just do something that makes you feel really good, feel really abundant. Remember that Jupiter energy is very strong today. So something that makes us feel luxurious, something that like you wouldn't normally do, or is something that you secretly love, but maybe you don't give to yourself all the time. That is gonna be a nice way to kind of help push that momentum forward, bridge the gap, because I do feel like this Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Cups does want to come in, ready to make an offer. I mean, with him being in the patience energy, this is waiting, yes, unfortunately. I feel like he's been waiting for a minute, but we saw that, right? There's a reason this person feels like they have to self-protect, whether it's just their own insecurities, their own fears, someone gossiping, kind of saying something that's triggering those fears. But it looks like they're ready for this fresh start. It looks like they're ready to actually make some steps towards you. They have a lot going on, as we all do. This is like a really busy season right now. It looks like they're actually being a little bit more intentional about how they approach you. This doesn't have to be a person either, because these are collective readings. This could also just be a new opportunity, something that is really heart honoring that's coming in your way. Okay. Intuition is a part of me. Intuition is a wise instinct within my balanced inner self that allows me to do things harmoniously. When I listen to my intuition, I produce great ideas and enjoy life. So remembering that when we are dealing with heavier things, regret, pain, sorrow, suffering, that it's important to listen to ourselves in the process, making sure that we're not continually disempowering ourselves to people, places, and things that weren't working with us or bringing us down, or really kind of putting a damper in things. Sometimes we do need to be able to tap into that intuitive part of ourselves, so we're not playing around with that monkey mind, right? I avoid judging myself. Judgments inside my mind are just opinions and distorted views of reality. I look at everything I have learned objectively. I work within myself to become more present and aware. This way, self-judgment will disappear. That's huge for us right now, especially with Virgo season, really shedding and releasing the regret. Part of this energy of keeping yourself in that quote unquote spiritual bubble is really allowing you to let go of self-judgment, criticism, shame. Okay, right? Like, life is life. And if you put it into that perspective, a year, 5 years down the road, people aren't even going to think about it. They're not even going to remember it, right? So we kind of have to give ourselves a little bit more credit where credit is due and not be our own worst critic. I never easily follow attractions. When I feel attracted to something, I do nothing. I simply observe it. Then the attraction becomes a beautiful expression. Well, I don't really know how to interpret that. No, I think this tags back to the intuition component, of making, sometimes when we dive into those instant gratification type things, they end up looping us into a cycle of karma that we weren't really ready for or didn't really want to get into. So I'm hearing this as things pop up that feel good, that feel heart honoring, that interest you, this is where Spirit's saying, just observe it, sit with it, see if it actually is something that resonates with you, that can become a full expression, or if it's not really in alignment with what you want and what you need. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for your time and energy always. I really appreciate the love, support to the channel. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, or I love to connect, share a little love and support with you. Thank you again for what you bring my way. It blesses my heart always. I'm sending the love and blessings to you.